Hey, what's up, people? Here, once again on the weekend, working on the truck. Nothing major. We just wanted to get a PM service done, change the oil, filters, um, and yeah, that's the fun thing today. The reason I do my oil change, don't take it to like a speed course, something like that. Um, First of all, I just think they're overpriced. Second of all, half of the cats they got working in there don't have a clue what they're doing. Other thing is, I don't trust how they grease. I don't feel like they grease enough. And I'm just too picky when it comes to the truck. I worked on trucks for so long, and when I was taught in school, I'm too picky. So that's why I decided to do it. You know, granted, you save some money too, but I think it's more for peace of mind for me. I mean, it's good that you save $150, but because everything's a tax off, write-off anyway. But I'm just too picky. So yeah, I already started yesterday. Yesterday, what I did was, oh, here's my motor. I got a cat. This is what I did yesterday. There's the drain plug right here. Right here's the drain plug, and instead of having a regular plug, what I did was I unscrewed mine off, and then this is just like a quick drain valve. So all you do is like twist it one way, left or right, and it just starts dumping oil. That way you're gonna have extra tools. That way yesterday when I got done work, before I went home, all I did was turn it left, dumped it out, let it run. That way today, all I had to do was just come shut it off. I took the filter off yesterday and let the oil drop. So all I gotta do now is basically fill up the filter with oil, put it on, and fill her up with oil, and that takes care of this side. Then we'll move over to the fuel side and do that. So here I got on my oil. This is the oil I use. I like to use Rotella just because I'm picky. These are my filters. This is oil. This is a fuel, and then I have another fuel. And since I have a cat motor, like I said, I'm just weird, so I like to use their filters. I've always done it that way. So we're going to get started here and check back. Okay, we got our filter on. It is here, right here. Usually I take about 3/4 of a gallon of oil, put it in there, just because when I got it when you first started, I don't like for it to be pure dry. So I put about 3/4 of a gallon in it. Now I'm gonna put it on. We got our strap here. This is just a strap where it goes like this, and then all you do is just wrap it around, and then with half inch ratchet, just give it a little snug, because with the vibration of that motor and the heat and all that, it tends to get a little tighter. So put it on. Now we'll give it a snug, and then we're just gonna move on to pouring the 10 gallons of oil in it, and then we'll move over to keep doing the rest. I'm gonna give this a snug real quick, and then we'll go from there. It kind of just goes around, wraps around. I said, you just want to get it snug. You don't want to go too tight. Because like I said, with the vibration and the heat, these motors don't really have a need to be making it real tight. So that takes care of that. Now we can move on to pouring our oil. Because we already got the oil pan closed. We got the oil filter tight. Now, like I said, I use Rotella. But before we do that, I usually put, not usually, all the time, I'll put a gallon of Lucas oil treatment. Best stuff for your motor. I have a crap load of miles on my truck. And in between oil changes, I don't even use a quart of oil. Like, you know, right now I can check it and it's still at full. And love this stuff. It makes everything stays nice and lubricated. So every time I change the oil, I'll dump a gallon of Lucas. Just kind of stuff is gooey. It's kind of a little thicker. And then I'll pour the rest of 9 gallons of oil, Rotella, and then fire it up, check it. Usually I use about 10.5 gallons because I use about usually about 11 gallons because almost a full gallon goes just on the filter, and then 9 of oil, and then the 1 of Lucas for these cat motors. Now you check with your motor, and then everybody's got their own thing. This is just for my cat. I got a cat 3406E. It's 550 horsepower, and I love it. That's all I ever own. I've never owned anything else but cats. So it's just me. I'm old school. So I'm gonna pour this oil in. It's gonna take a while. This stuff is real thick. This Lucas treatment, so it takes a little bit for it to go down, and we'll go from there. Still going here. It's humid as heck, but we gotta get it done. Already filled up the oil, checked it. We already went through all the steps to check it. You know, we just fired it up, make sure it was at full. That was good. Now we moved over to the fuel side. Now, my particular cat, a lot of them do, have 2 filters. They got the one right here. Always has a bleeder on it. This is a hand primer pump. And then we got that little guy there. I just replaced it. And when I snugged it with the wrench, it got a little dirty. She's gonna get dirty anyway. This is the water separator. You see here on the bottom here has the little cockpit, a little usually, you know, so much dirty fuel out here, you can just open that up, let some water out. I never have that problem. I usually I use a lot of Lucas fuel treatments, so I don't have that problem. You know, before I change it, all you do is open that thing up, loosen the filter, open that thing up, that way it drains, drop it into a little pan. That's what I got here on the ground. And then, so once you unloosen it, then we need flying fuel everywhere. Fill it back up to the top of fuel and put it back in. Now we're gonna move on to the second one here. And that was your primary, by the way. This is your secondary. And then after we replace this one, you know, let the fuel out, take it out, fill it up with fuel all the way to the top, put it in, and it starts. And if it won't start, that's why you got this little guy here. This little guy here, you unscrew that, you pump it, and then that sends fuel back into the lines in case it the lines went dry for a little bit. That's what I like about a good system that Cat has. And pretty much after that, we're done with the motor. Usually standard PM, I'd grease it, check my air my tires, adjust the brakes, check the gearboxes, check the tranny. But since I did that not last week and the weekend before that, I'm not gonna do that today. All I focused today was just changing the oil with the filter, the fuel filters, and maybe in about 2-3 more weeks, I'll come around and grease it, and then we'll go over that. Grease it, adjust the brakes, and then check on my gearboxes and my training. Make sure that fluid is going. And then after that, pretty much, I'm always checking it myself, but that's what a standard PM is. And that's pretty much it, you know. I always try to do it. I do mine every 12,000. I know these new motors, you know, you go 20,000, 30,000, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't intend to ever get a new motor. So this one will get rebuilt and I'll keep running cats. It's just me. I don't have nothing against them, but I won't get a new truck, a new motor. I don't believe in none of that DEF and none of that EGR bull crap. I don't like it. They'll never pull the same as these trucks, and that's a proven fact. I've driven one of those couple, and I've driven with some in my truck and they can't keep up. So, but I'm not against them. It's just me, my preference. I like older motors. Is what I know, is where I stick to. And the day they make me, I don't know. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I'm almost done here. Change this last filter, and then close it up. I already checked the oil is up to level, and then I gotta move on to my pickup truck. I gotta do the oil change on that. I already did the oil change on the wife's car. So my weekend usually is running around doing stuff, but oh well. Just make sure this one will be alright for Monday. You know, Monday we got the usual, I do 2 stops and then a back haul, and then that'll be it. So yeah, it was just showing you guys a little bit of oil change stuff and how to do it and why I do it, and you know, like I said, usually how much it costs me to do it and what I save, usually roughly right around $150. And it's just me. I'm picky, so I don't like many people touching my truck for the dumbest things. Not even. I won't even go to the Speedco and pay them $25 to grease my truck because I don't trust it. I know they're not going to grease it correctly. You know, we'll get into the greasing stuff later. But anyway, hope everybody enjoys the rest of the weekend and be safe.